up, everybody, and welcome to another tiny home speed build. Today we are doing a small family home for a single dad and his two daughters. Now, oh my goodness, this home was kind of really just complicated because I wanted to utilize that trick where you have the glass roof as a window and then it doesn't actually count the floor tiles, but I couldn't exactly remember how to do it. So I spent I don't know how long screwing around trying to figure out how to get this thing, to look good and work and all this other stuff. And then you got the whole problem that when you put whatchamacallit, when you put it in the house, it still considers it outside, so the coloring isn't right, and it's just really annoying. And then I tried to try and figure out, where were the rooms gonna be and all this other stuff. I ended up making the toddler's room really tiny because, well, to be honest, she's a toddler, and, well, toddlers don't need all that much in their rooms, and stuff like that. So, yeah. The first challenge of this house was actually trying to figure out what lot I was going to build this on, because I didn't really want to build anything bigger than a 20 by 20 lot, because honestly, I feel like that's just a waste of space. And the problem is that a lot of the 20 by 15 and 20 by 20 lots have already been used up or are in places that don't look like a residential home, or I know there are quite a few 20 by 15s in Willow Creek. However, Willow Creek is my set world. So that wasn't going to work because that's where all my sets are for filming videos and stuff like that, and I needed those lots for those things. And I've pretty much used up all the lots in Oasis Springs, which is basically That Fateful Night Strangetown, and I thought about maybe moving some of the community lots, but the only lot I have left in Oasis Springs is in a clearly residential area, so that wasn't going to work. I've pretty much built up on all the ones in Newcrest, and San Myshuno doesn't have any, and Brightchester, well, I kind of wanted to save that for, university housing. Well, not university housing, but houses for university students, which, okay, yes, some of them could be a tiny home. I ended up with 2 of them there. I really didn't want, too much of that, but anyway, Brightchester was out. Del Sol Valley has one, which is the park in the middle of the, but since people, who live in tiny homes don't really have, a lot of people live in tiny homes because they can't really afford to pay for, big homes, and so having a tiny home in the middle of the frickin' Walk of Fame or whatever it's called, that just wouldn't have made sense. Suwannee is pretty much taken already, and, well, that pretty much leaves me with Brittleton Bay and, what was the other one? Oh my goodness, I'm blanking here. Strangerville, there we go. Okay, yeah, I got it. So, I decided to go into Brittleton Bay because there were quite a few small lots left, and this is actually the lot that Katarina Lynx's house is on, but, for the purposes of this save file, I just kind of got rid of the pre-mades because I wanted to build my own houses and have my own families in there and just have it be like my own little custom world, you know what I mean? So, some of the pre-mades are still around, they're just not in world. So I demolished that house and I built this one instead. So now that I found the place for it, I was kind of trying to figure out what the heck I was going to do. I didn't model this one off of a floor plan, so I was kind of just winging it, you know what I mean? And I had to make it, 100 tiles, and there was all of that restriction. So I kind of eventually found out, well, actually, you know what? I lied. I kind of forgot this, so it wasn't really a lie, but I kind of did model it off of a floor plan a little bit, but I had to tweak it because, the original one had, 1 bedroom on the top, and I needed, at least 2, so, yeah, but the little, I don't even know what that thing is there, thing in the back was the same that I got off the floor plan, so, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. So, yeah, due to the tile restriction, this house does not have a raised foundation, so there's no deck. I just used the little fancy Jungle Adventure tiles there because I thought they looked cool. And, I figured, the house doesn't necessarily need to have a foundation. I like to put one in because they usually do have those, but, it doesn't necessarily have to, and, with all this other stuff. And for the kitchen, I put like a stained glass window in there because I saw, I don't remember, I want to say it was Three Sisters Gaming, but I don't remember exactly what it was. So, somebody, I think maybe it was on like Twitter or something like that, they used a stained glass window in their kitchen, and I absolutely loved it, so I definitely wanted to do that here. And I also had to be, a little creative when it came to the little deck area because, at that point I had already had my 100 tiles, and I, thought that by closing in the area with fencing, that was going to add more tiles. So I put in like those little slots that you got from City Living, kind of as like a makeshift wall, and it actually adds like a little personality to the house. However, when I put the trim up there, it wouldn't, the trim wouldn't go, which is honestly just stupid because, it's based on like the room above it. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, this is really stupid because when you have freezies or whatever they're called, you can only have them on like medium and tall wall heights. So you use the trim for short wall heights, or at least that's what I do. However, if there's no room, and roofs don't count as rooms, if there's no room above it, you can't put the trim there. So if I'm trying to make, a house look good, because if there's no, like, line between the first and second floor, it just does not look good. Like, I don't know. But, anyway, I'm trying to make it look good, and I can't put the freaking trim there. It looks good with the trim. I want the trim there, but I can't put the trim on everything because there's no room above it. And I'm just, oh my goodness. So I put, like, a bunch of awnings that I think that one came with Island Living or Jungle Adventure, one of those two, and I kind of put them on there to hide the fact that there was no trim there. So I think that kind of worked out really well. And then, there's an issue that I run into a lot of times when I build these houses is, when you have like an open plan, like I do in this house, you have different wall colors for different sections. And the problem is that it just looks so abrupt with that section there and the two different wall patterns. It's just like, wait, whoa, this doesn't look right. So I want to put columns in there. And then with the window being the way it is, I had to put columns in there as well. And because, it didn't look right. But after that was all said and done, there were 4 columns, and that's a problem because that's bad luck. So I'm not taking my chances. So I was trying to figure out where to fit a freaking column somewhere, and I don't even remember the the solution I came up with. So, I can tell you right now that there are more than 4 columns in this bottom room, but I don't exactly remember how I came up with that. I think maybe I put more where the, the kitchen tiles ended, and I don't really know. I mean, anyway, with this kitchen, I was trying to screw around. I thought maybe it would be a good idea to have some kind of, like, island counter in the middle of it, but I realized, there was not enough room for that. So I kind of had to screw around a little bit and put in like a mini fridge, and I put in like a little cabinet kind of thing. And what else did I do? Somehow, right there, so you see it right now, the tiles completely disappeared because I was trying to paint the one wall green, and I accidentally hit shift when I probably shouldn't have. And yeah, I didn't even notice this for a while, and all of a sudden I just noticed this, and I'm like, wait a minute, the counters are green and the walls are green. That does not look right. But I kind of wanted the counters to be, like teal. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to be teal. This is supposed to be tile. What the heck is going on? See, there you go. But I decided to keep the white counters just because they looked better, I think. So, yeah. Other than that, I really didn't have a problem cramming in like a tiny kitchen here because, well, I pretty much had all the amenities I needed. There's a dishwasher, there's a stove, there's a sink, and it's like you can have a fancy kitchen with all the fancy appliances, but you don't really need to, you know what I mean? Like this family really wouldn't need the fanciest kitchen in the world, just something so that they can heat up some food, and that's pretty much it. Now, I did run into a little issue with the dining room, and, I had the little area that, the alcove area, I think I'm going to call it, and I was trying to figure out, well, first of all, it took me forever to find a freaking table that would fit in here, and that would have at least 3 chairs to sit around it, and I finally came up with one, And then I spent quite a bit of time trying to find good chairs. I think I tried like a bar height one at some point, and it just didn't work. And for the dad's bed, I decided to go with the Murphy bed. And, well, okay, the Murphy bed is notorious for always breaking down and having problems. And I can't have that because that will just, no. So what I did is I had my little friend, Destiny, yes, Darren Dreamer's girlfriend, Destiny, because, you know, I had her actually not max out, just get her handiness skill to level 8 just so she could operate the weather machine and so I can keep the seasons in the particular season I need them to be in for filming. So, you know, she had enough handiness to do this upgrade, so I just added her to the family. I actually stuck Darlene in her apartment so that all the furniture wouldn't get erased when I took her out. So I took Destiny out and I had her, you know, modify and upgrade the Murphy bed so it does not break anymore. So, well, it never broke to begin with because I modified it the first thing. That was like the first thing I did in this house. So, yeah, so that's a safeguard against the Murphy bed and all that other stuff. But, and you know, with that stuff done, the downstairs is pretty much done. So now we're gonna move on to the upstairs. I did put a few, paintings there because, oh my goodness. Can I just say how much we need more of those freaking paintings? I know that we got a lot, but not every single one of them is to my style. And I'm always running out of stuff to put on the walls. You know what I mean? And, oh my goodness, it's a struggle. Don't get me wrong. This is why I'm never gonna not be, you know, mad about getting a new stuff pack because I'm always into getting new stuff unless it's old grandma knitting stuff, and that was concerning me for a while there. But then the art style I wanted won. Well, that's another thing that happened that I didn't really talk about on here. But yeah, the art style I wanted for the knitting pack won, and I'm just really happy about that because I've been getting thrown a lot of stuff lately, and you know, it's nice to have something go my way once, even if it's really small. I feel like the universe owes me at this point after just screwing me over so many times. So, yeah. I'm extremely happy about that. I was joking around saying that, you know, if Granny Chic won, I was gonna crawl into my bed and hide there for the rest of the decade, which probably wasn't a good idea because by the time we got the results, it would have been 2020. So, yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. But anyway, DIY Delight won. I'm so happy about that. And, you know, the creative sim vote, it was okay. A lot of people were like, how did we pick just 15? Meanwhile, I'm looking at these items like, oh my goodness, so many of these are just ugly. Like, I didn't pick anything for guys because it was all just ugly sweaters. And I'm like, no, I don't want these in my game. I'm never going to use them. I did find a few items I really liked and I would really like to use in my game, so hopefully we'll get those. If not, well, that's what CC creators are for. There were a couple of pet outfits too, which was really just like, what? Didn't you guys learn your lesson from my first pet stuff? And, you know, I'm going to be like, honestly, I'm going to be like really surprised if that even gets many votes. I can just see the fallout from that right now where everyone is going to be complaining about, oh my goodness, you people are so stupid. You complained your butt off about my first pet stuff and now you get this. And oh my goodness, I really don't want to see all of that on Twitter. So I'm really hoping, you know, I don't expect any of those pet things to be a part of the pack for that reason. But if it does, dear God, help us all, because that's going to be a backlash that, well, actually, I just feel like, you know, the result of any vote is going to be a backlash, because there's always going to be, you know, somebody that doesn't get everything they want. And so far, I've been lucky in what that I wanted was chosen, but there's probably going to be some ugly stuff that people, you know, are just going to put their vote for, so you know, who knows? But anyway, we are pretty much at the end of this speed build, so I'm going to wrap it up here. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like and a comment. And as always, you can follow me on social media if you want to see behind the scenes, fun facts, stuff like that. You can always follow me on Instagram at VisitJoan. And if you want to see my thoughts on all things Sims related, you can follow me on Twitter at VisitJoan Videos. But anyway, I'm going to get up out of here. Bye, everybody!